from Absolute Potential Health and Performance here today, and this video is going to go into a myofascial stretch of the gastrocnemius. The gastrocnemius is basically the anatomical name for one of our calf muscles. It's the larger of the two, and it's actually located obviously here. It attaches into the calcaneal tendon, and then that big muscle actually comes up and attaches above the knee, and that's what differentiates it from the other calf muscle, the soleus, which ends below the knee. What that means is when we do a myofascial stretch of the gastrocnemius, we actually need to consider the position of the heel as well as the position of the knee. There's actually two heads of the gastrocnemius, the medial and the lateral head. So the medial portion is on the inside part of your calf, and the lateral portion is on the outside part. And we can actually do a myofascial stretch to bias either or. The function of both of those are slightly different. Both of them will plantarflex, or enable us to come up onto our toes. The medial head, so the inner part, enables us to do what's called calcaneal varus, which is basically making that arch. You can see there that's shortening of that medial portion, helps us to bring the ankle into this position. The lateral portion then contributes to what's called calcaneal valgus, and that's bringing our foot so that the sole is facing outside. In regards to the stretch then, we do this one in standing. You can do it against a wall or you can do it without a wall. I will show you firstly if you wanted to use a wall. Basically, we want to come up, we can bring one hand to stabilize, one leg out in front, and the other leg, the one that we're stretching, is straight, okay? It's really important that we get the heel down, the knees extended, you can see that, and our toes should be pointing straight in front. We don't want the toes pointing out to the side at all. We want them pointing straight out in front, and we want to make sure our hips are also not rotated. So I'll just show you from the side view again, but then I will show you from the front because it's a bit easier to see. One hand on in this position, might be a bit easier to see here. Extended knee, heel down, toes straight out in front, and the hips are not rotated. That takes the muscle off stretch. Takes the fascia above and below off stretch, so we want to make sure our pelvis is nice and straight, okay? The bent knee is actually the knee that we're going to shift our weight towards to get that stretch. As I said, you can have one hand on the wall to stabilize, the other one comes up into that typical myofascial external rotation, or you can do it without a wall and both hands will come straight out in front and externally rotate. Now to bias the medial and the lateral portion, what we do is we simply change or the position of our heel. So coming into that basic position again, make sure you're nice and steady. If we now want to bias the medial or the inner portion of the calf, what we want to think about is basically crushing or flattening our medial arch down towards the floor, shifting forward, keeping the knee straight, and then that external rotation, upper limb extension to tension the fascia above. And then we're basically thinking about pushing up towards the ceiling with our arms and really pushing that heel and the medial arch down towards the floor. And you'll feel that stretch more towards the inner part of your calf, okay? And just relax. And remembering that crushing of the arch is the opposite of the action that it does. That's that basic principle of how we do a myofascial stretch. To bias the lateral portion then, same position, same arm position. All we do this time is we think about pressing the outside or the lateral border of our foot down towards the floor. And then it's that extension and external rotation up, pressing the heel down, and then really think about pressing that lateral border, the outside border of your foot down in towards the floor. And you'll feel straight away that there's a difference in regards to which part you're actually emphasizing. A lot of people will actually find that one portion feels tighter than the other. One side can also feel tighter than the other as well. I'll show you that now from the back side, just so you can see what I mean. So again, this position, we'll do the left leg this time. Notice how my toes aren't pointing out, they're pointing forward. Straight in line, my pelvis is not twisted, but nice and straight. Heel is on the floor, And then it's either a medial arch being pushed down, just like that, and the arms, or it's the lateral arch being pushed down and the arms extending. In both of those, remember, we're really trying to go away with the arms and really trying to push the heels down into the floor, and either the arch or the lateral border is being pushed down. And that's how we can really get that effective myofascial stretch for both heads of the gastrocnemius. Remembering for all these myofascial stretches, we want to look at doing a 30-second hold, doing that 3 times. This is probably one of the more easier ones to get into in regards to a position. So for a lot of people, they'll find they'll be able to do that maximal hold from the very start, which is really great. Again, just think about both sides in regards to right and left, but then also medial and lateral portion, because we do have those 2 components of the calf. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave them below. I'd love to hear from you, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.